This video contains major spoilers for the game Horses and explores themes present in the game of authoritarian structures and the violent enforcement of hierarchies. The game's content warning is on screen now. Viewer discretion is advised. In spite of being banned from Steam and Epic, Horses isn't really all that graphic. Like, it even comes pre-censored. It is, however, deeply uncomfortable, both in its presentation and the themes it explores. Themes it presents pretty explicitly. Usually, people exhibiting immoral behaviour also have dangerous ideas. Each of us is a cog in the machine. We must all do our duty so society can function properly. You play as Anselmo, working a summer job on a farm for a couple of weeks, taking care of the horses, which are actually enslaved people wearing horse masks. Stripped of their humanity and names, the brutality to which they are subject is a close parallel to those faced by enslaved peoples in the real world. Most obviously the enslavement of black Africans by white Europeans and Americans. Beyond the most obvious connections, the horses also act as a stand-in for victims of authoritarian violence more broadly. Those in Nazi labour camps, in the gulags, and perhaps in the prison system. They represent those who are deemed unworthy of life and freedom, and who are kept in inhumane conditions and exploited for their labour. Despite your horror at seeing the horses for the first time, you go about your chores all the same. You have no real choice, right? Try as you might, attempting to refuse simply narrows down your options to just compliance. You are a cog in the machine, as are the horses whom you whip, whose bodies you callously dispose of. You aren't alone in this behaviour. The farmer who sits atop the farm and his loyal dog maintain order. Dehumanized and enslaved, the dog is rung above the horses, and acts to maintain this position, participating in the violent oppression of those below him. Snitching on the horses, should they try to escape. In spite of his loyalty, he will never be free for as long as he enforces this system of oppression, merely a cog, fed gruel, a step above the hay given to the horses, but still barely edible. In the real world too, there will always be oppressed people willing to oppress others. One of the good ones, the Blair White or Candace Owens of the world, the TERF, the white suffragettes who opposed black men and women alike being granted the right to vote, and who joined white supremacists and fascist groups. Oppressed people so enamoured of their own oppression that they willingly stamp their heel on another's face. In order to maintain one's own relative privilege, to stay safe, one must, in the minds of these people, oppress those below oneself. And so, as Anselmo, you do. You aid in the violence against the horses, and under threat of violence to yourself, inflict it. Should you fail to do so, live your life recklessly and indulgently, you will end up exactly where you deserve. In a later chapter of the game, new horses are brought in. Caught defiling the farmer's land, he captures and tames these wild horses. You do the deed, injecting them with inhumanity, locking their new identities as enslaved animals. Sex in the Christian doctrine held by the farmer and priest is shameful and inhuman. This is a very clear critique of organised religion and its use as a tool of control, not only in the control of sexuality and oppression of sexual minorities, but also in how it orders society. The priest personally works with the farmer to re-educate one of the horses. Throughout the interaction, the farmer defers to the priest as an authority figure, chiming in with amens and repetition of the priest's words. Doubt, rebelliousness, uncertainty, all must be quashed. Dangerous ideas are a concern for everyone. The farmer's religious zealotry fuels his oppression of others and also manifests strongly in his shame. While drunk in the middle of the night, he temporarily dons a horse head at the same time as a chastity cage. He fetishizes those whom he deems beneath him, and full of violent shame, he partakes in sin. There are clear parallels here to the fetishization of black and other racialized people, and trans people, specifically trans women, by their oppressors, with the fetishization functioning to further dehumanize and objectify marginalized peoples, and in doing so further justify oppression and violence against them by branding them as deviant. In spite of all the evils portrayed within horses, it holds hope. It's rough, and you won't always succeed. The initial escape attempt fails and results in the punishment of the horses leading the break for freedom, and of the dog who the player can poison in an attempt to aid their escape. Something I'd like to highlight is Anselmo is not even considered a potential actor in this, with his privilege protecting him from suspicion, while the marginalized people seeking freedom from oppression face retaliation. But if the machine jams, everything falls apart. You can eventually destroy the system. With the machine broken, the horses are freed and seek retribution against their oppressor. The farmer is made into a horse himself, The violence he inflicted upon others is in turn inflicted upon himself. By being brought down eye to eye with those whom he enslaved, he too is freed and able to express himself without fear or shame. In the ending, Anselmo is pressured to put on a horse head, joining the group and being liberated alongside them. Textually, that pressure comes from the horses, but I would argue that if extrapolated to a real-world context, that pressure is also external. He is freed from his position as a cog in the authoritarian machine and forced to the margins. While the game can and should be critiqued as presenting a white saviour narrative of a privileged character liberating marginalised people from their oppression, that he loses his privilege thereafter is an important note for me. It's a display of true allyship, of being close enough to the marginalised to where you are dehumanised alongside them, and also liberated alongside them. Just as Anselmo is saved from being made into a dog by Linda, whom he freed minutes prior, if you have solidarity and fight for the rights and lives of others, they will fight for you in kind. May there never be no one to speak out when authoritarian powers come for you. I hope that may have done the topic some justice, and thank you for watching. I'd appreciate it if you could like and subscribe if you liked it. And if you have something to say, please comment it below. I know there's definitely more I could have gone to with analysing this game, but wanted to keep it focused. There's hardly a shortage of people talking about this game covering aspects I haven't touched on. And with all that said, see you around.